So these are examples of some suture needles that we use in the hospital. The first one is a taper suture needle, and it is used for rough fibrous tissue because it starts at the top and it goes down to a taper point to get the rough tissue. The second one is a cutting needle, which the cutting edge is on the inside of the needle. And then another one would be the reverse cutting, where the cutting edge is on the outside of the needle. And the reverse cutting is a little bit stronger than the cutting, and the cutting needle cuts towards the edges of wounds, so it compromises the strength of tissue. And then another one is a blunt needle, which there is no taper point and there is no point. It's just a blunt circle, just simply that's how it is, a blunt. And it is used for more invasive surgeries that need attention quickly. And the sizes of the needles come in 1/4, 5/8, 3/8, and then a half, which I missed right there. So 1/4, 5/8, a half, and 3/8, and those are the sizes of the needles, and some examples of needles and the uses that they can be used for. And then also wanted to explain some suture material that we have here. We have 3/0 PDS, we have 3/0 chromic gut, we have 0 chlorophyll, and we have 0 Vicryl. And then all of these are used for surgery. Chlorophyll is what we use on the outside of the body to suture the skin together. And then the rest of these three are used on the inside of the body to suture tissues together. And then I wanted to explain the size of them. There's 3/0 and then there's 0. And the more zeros involved in the suture means that the suture is smaller. So the 3/0 is a lot smaller than 0 because there are 3 zeros in this and there's only 1. So the higher the number means the smaller the suture. And then so the lower number means the bigger the suture. And so that is the sizes of the suture material. And then we discussed the types, and then the uses. It kind of depends on the type of surgery and the size of the animal. If it's a smaller animal, we would use say 3/0 over 0 because it's a smaller suture. And then we always use chlorophyll to suture the skin on the outside. So once again, it just kind of depends on the surgeon and the size of the animal, depending on what suture we use. And then also, braided versus monofilament. This one right here, Vicryl, is an example of braided. And what braided is 2 or more strands of the suture are braided together. And then monofilament, which PDS is an example of monofilament, is just 1 strand. And so, the braided, it's bigger and it holds knots better, but the monofilament, there's less drag of friction with the tissues, so there's advantages and disadvantages. It depends on what the doctor wants, but once again, monofilament is 1 single strand and braided is 2 strands, which braided holds knots a little bit better. So that just kind of depends on the doctor. So those are examples of the suture material and the suture needles that we would use in the hospital.